Ho-Yeong Lee gets only 15 days before the world collapses, but his real advantage is not strength at first. It is a mysterious guide that tells him how to survive a tower where even the mascot can kill you. Spoiler warning for chapters 1 through 9 of this Korean manhwa. The story begins like a modern apocalypse fantasy: monsters appear, towers rise, and ordinary people are forced into deadly trials. Ho-Yeong Lee is not introduced as a born warrior. He is a worker who receives a strange pill after helping a frightened silver goblin, then gains a system-like guide that pushes him to prepare before everyone else understands the danger. That early preparation becomes the spine of the story, because this tower does not reward kindness alone. It rewards information, timing, courage, and the ability to act before fear freezes the whole group. Chapter 1 opens with Ho-Yeong Lee already treating the apocalypse like a deadline. At 7 in the morning, he forces himself through a long run in the rain. By noon, he is practicing with a wooden sword, and by evening, he is grinding heavy strength training. The important detail is that this is not a casual fitness arc. He repeats the routine for 2 weeks and even resigns from work so he can follow the survival instructions properly. Then the story jumps back to the warning day, when emergency alerts, monster sightings, and tower-like structures shock the public. Ho-Yeong first doubts the chaos, like many people would, until he helps a scared silver goblin and receives the silver goblin's pill. After taking it, he gains the sage's status window, turning panic into preparation. Chapter 2 throws Ho-Yeong into a forest trial where the preparation immediately starts paying off. He faces animal-like monsters with a sword, and blue system windows keep appearing around him, marking progress, rewards, and what looks like skill growth. Instead of swinging blindly, he starts fighting like someone who is testing his own body against the tower's rules. He cuts down an attacking creature, studies his status, then deals with a charging yellow boar-like beast before facing an even more dangerous red-horned monster. But the chapter's real lesson arrives when the scene shifts to a red-lit tutorial space with other people. A tiny rabbit-like guide first looks harmless, almost cute. Then an aggressive man mistreats it, and the guide responds with horrifying speed, proving this tutorial is not a game for careless players. Chapter 3 focuses on one of the first major system decisions. Ho-Yeong stands before a class or skill selection screen while other participants watch, and the options include familiar combat paths like warrior and paladin. But his attention goes to a strange card connected to a golden eye and a shadowy human figure. The rabbit guide reacts as if his choice is rare, dangerous, or simply not supposed to happen this easily. That reaction matters, because the guide soon becomes the threat. It changes into a horned monster and attacks, forcing Ho-Yeong to survive using a blue spectral power that overwhelms it. Afterward, coins and system rewards appear, but the survivors do not become united. They argue, measure benefits, and reveal fear or greed, while Ho-Yeong stays guarded as the trial moves toward an outdoor forest stage. Chapter 4 sends the party through a wooded area with a tense travel dynamic. Ho-Yeong moves with a small group that includes a blonde young woman, a brown-haired companion, and a red-haired man in a leopard-patterned cloak. The forest is not just scenery. It becomes a hunting ground when rough enemies appear, including a muscular attacker who charges in with brute force. Ho-Yeong's response shows how much his tower mindset has changed. He does not panic or waste movement. He watches, analyzes, dodges, and counters while blue system windows appear like combat prompts. The ambush grows messier when other enemies enter, including a white-haired beast-like fighter and a red-haired attacker using purple energy. By the end, Ho-Yeong has turned the pressure around and appears ready to control the direction of the group's movement himself. Chapter 5 begins inside a bright tower-like testing area where Ho-Yeong stands with the blonde woman and a large red-haired man. The red-haired companion is furious after being treated like a low-level beginner, which tells us the tower is already ranking people in humiliating ways. Then other participants gather, rival groups move in, and the floor's practical test begins. The rules shift into a team survival challenge, complete with colored panels and a 5-minute countdown. This is where Ho-Yeong's guide-like advantage becomes more strategic than flashy. He studies a blue information window, reads the opposing teams, and appears to calculate the best response while others panic or rush forward. The test quickly becomes a trap of time, teamwork, and violence. Then a red rift opens, and a huge horned presence looms like the next nightmare. Chapter 6 opens with survivors gathered inside a cold blue tutorial space, arguing and reacting to the danger outside. Ho-Yeong, the blonde woman, the red-haired man, and others are still trying to understand how to live under tower rules when a new threat appears beyond the safe area. A system window identifies a dangerous mission involving a horned red-black monster, with its name only partly readable. The mission feels like a death sentence, yet Ho-Yeong chooses to confront it instead of waiting for someone else to solve the problem. Outside, he studies the monster's movement, survives heavy exchanges, and uses purple sword energy to keep fighting. The battle proves that his training was not wasted. When he finally defeats the monster, the system rewards him with a swordsmanship upgrade and mission completion, and the blonde woman runs toward him in relief. Chapter 7 shifts from monster survival to human pressure. A loud red-haired muscular man mocks Ho-Yeong in a tower-like waiting area, demanding his level and treating him like an easy target. Ho-Yeong remains calm, and the chapter hints that he is leaning on information from a written strategy guide. That is what makes him scary in this kind of story. He is not only strong, he knows when the rules are about to change. When the red-haired man attacks, Ho-Yeong responds with sudden speed and control, shocking the crowd. Then the rabbit-like mascot introduces a Battle Royale style trial, dividing participants and forcing them into conflict. The setup turns every survivor into a possible enemy. Just when the trial seems dangerous enough, a huge unknown creature marked only as level unknown appears, leaving everyone stunned. Chapter 8 is harder to read in exact dialogue, but the visual direction is clear. Ho-Yeong and several other visible characters move from the tower or dungeon-like setup into a cold, snowy outdoor area. The environment changes the mood completely. Instead of controlled tutorial rooms and glowing panels, the group now faces a wider landscape where danger can hide in the distance. Multiple people gather, speak, and react, including figures who look organized or uniformed, suggesting some kind of briefing or command structure. Ho-Yeong appears focused, framed with dark purple energy and a serious expression, while the snowy battlefield builds tension around the group. The later pages emphasize confrontation, monster-like danger, and a large muscular figure in the cold landscape, setting up a more hostile stage where the tower's tests are becoming less predictable. Chapter 9 brings the pressure back to a misty forest, where blue system windows warn Ho-Yeong that the situation has become dangerous. One notice indicates that a player has died, and another suggests that a strange player has appeared. Then a huge blue eye-like symbol opens, making the scene feel less like a normal battle and more like the tower is observing or triggering something hidden. A purple-masked figure appears with a threatening aura, and Ho-Yeong's reaction shows that this enemy is different. It seems to know or mirror him, turning his own strength into a problem. He fights through fast sword clashes, blue energy attacks, and encounters with other armed players, but the situation keeps twisting. A blonde or orange-clad opponent eventually overwhelms him and sends him crashing upside down, just as a hidden effect activates in a way he never expected. Across these 9 chapters, the manhwa builds a strong system survival hook around one idea: information is power, but it is not safety. Ho-Yeong's guide lets him train early, choose differently, and read situations faster than other players, yet the tower keeps finding ways to punish confidence. The rabbit guide is cute until it becomes lethal. Team tests promise cooperation, then push people into Battle Royale logic. Even Ho-Yeong's own growth becomes dangerous when a doppelganger-like enemy appears to understand him. That cliffhanger works because it attacks the core fantasy. If his advantage is knowledge, what happens when the tower creates something that knows him back? That is the full chapter 1 through 9 recap. Subscribe for the next part, where the doppelganger problem, the hidden effect, and the tower's next test may turn Ho-Yeong's greatest advantage into his biggest weakness.